Hello to everyone. This is Shantan Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering College, Dundigal, Hyderabad. The subject is matrices. Today, we are going to discuss the topic on the discussion of tutorial question bank, the module 5, that is multiple integrals. First of all, before going to discuss that question bank, we need to discuss what is the syllabus of module 5, and also what are the topics which is covered, and again the formulas, important formulas. After that, we'll go to discuss the question bank. Here, under this module 5, that is a multiple integrals, the topics are like evolution of double integrals. Under here, the Cartesian and polar coordinates, the change the order of integration. Here also only under this, we'll go to discuss the Cartesian form. And finally, that is evolution of the triple integrals. Under here, Cartesian coordinates only. As per the syllabus, we need to discuss here properly. That is one by one, the related the formulas, and also based upon that main topics. And again after that, we'll go to discuss the question bank. Here, that's topics wise, like double integrations. The double integration is nothing but that is a two integrations. And again, the evolution of double integrals in Cartesian coordinates, and the evolution of the double integral in the polar coordinates, change the order of integration, the triple integrations, finally the evolution of triple integrals in Cartesian coordinates only. Regarding these are the 7 other little bit the topics, totally together 8 to 9 or like the 10 topics we'll go to discuss properly. Like that is the formulas, and again how to do the problems, and again based upon that how to find that if the problems are given, then we'll go to discuss the problems. Here, the double integrations. First, under the double integration, here that based upon here the limits are given like the constant limits, then how to find the solutions. That is the first we'll go to discuss based upon the double integrations under the direct integration. The direct integration is nothing but the limits are given the constants, then how to find the solution, or sometimes the limits are given the variables, then how to find the solutions. Here, actually these double integrations, the double integration is nothing but it is under the multiple integrations. That means here what is the meaning of multiple integral? The multiple integration is nothing but it is a definite integral of the function of more than the one real variable. That means only that based other than the one. That means if it is a one variable, that is a single integration. More than the one variable is nothing but that is a more than the one integration is a that is a multiple integrations. Either depend upon the two integration, three integration, or like that more number of the integrations together. It is a multiple integrations. Here, for example, this is the latest function f of x comma y and also f of x comma y comma z. While we are going to observe here the two variables, and also the second one is that is a three variables. That means more than the single variable, that is nothing but more than the single integration. That is together it is called as a multiple integrations. And again we'll go to discuss under here that based upon that only the double integration. As per the syllabus, it is a triple integration only. Here, the double integrations. That means just now we discuss here it is a integral of a function of that is a two variable over the region, that is a r square or r2. That is nothing but the region is under the two variables, that is a two integrations. It is called as the double integrations. And again, for example, the double integration of a function, it is a two variable f of x comma y under the in r square is called as a double integration. Here the double integration is nothing but f of x comma y, that is a d in the area or something under that is a it is a x comma y. That is a two variables, and sometimes it is a x comma y or also like that y comma x. That depend upon the problems are given, how to discuss the problems, that we'll go to discuss clearly properly based upon that one by one the methods. Here first one under the double integration with the constant limits. That means under the double integrations when the limits are given the constants, then how to find the solutions. And sometimes they are not given the constant limits, then how to find the solutions. These are the some methods are there, one by one we need to discuss properly. It is a double integration with constant limits. That is nothing but whenever there is a double integration, f is a function x comma y. And again, the double integration, it is a f of x comma y and also dx dy. And what is the meaning of this one? And in this one, the problem is given like that a, b and also c, d. And again here, the functions are x comma y. That means that while we are going to finding the problems, whenever the not mention that particular limits, then according to based upon this one, first of all, what is a inner variable? That is a dx. That means if they are not given that particular limit wise, here whatever the inner the variable that is with respect to that, we need to assume that x is equal to, that is a limits are corresponding x is equal to. And again after that, here after calculating the dx, we need to find out that is a dy is the conditions. And that is the meaning of here, if it is not given the particularly, we need to assume based upon condition, if the limits are constants, it is inner is a constant, that is x, and again that outer is a y. That is depend upon the given function. And again, it is x is equal to c to d, and again after calculating, you find the solutions. For example, the limits are, it is also not given particularly any that related the variable. While we are going to observe here, it is a dy dx. That means here inner is nothing but it is y. Therefore, we need to assume that y is equal to c to d. And again after that, we need to calculate that is x is equal to, that is a to b. That is the meaning of here y is equal to c and f of x comma y. We need to integrating first with respect to it is a dy. And again after calculating this one, we need to integrating with respect to that is x is equal to a to, that is a b, and again dx is a value. This is the meaning of whenever the not given the particularly, these are the like x limits or something y limits, at the time we need to assume that that is a inner is a first, and I assume that, and after that is a with respect to y. And again here, for example, it is a when x1 comma x2, that is y1 comma y2 are all constants. That means whatever the previous two slides based upon this is the conclusion of this one. It is a first is integrating with respect to x and again with respect to y, and sometimes it is with respect to y and with respect to, that is also x is the conditions. And again it is both are the same. Sometimes that depend upon the whenever the function is a like a continuous function under the given limits. Therefore here both are the limits are satisfied. That is either integrating with respect to x r and again after with respect to y, otherwise first integrating with respect to y and again after with respect to x. That is whenever the function is a continuous function, it is a function integration is a satisfied. And again next one, the double integrations with variables. And what is the meaning of this one? While we are going to observing the previous this slide, it is limits are constants. Sometimes while we are going to do that, the problems are under the variables. The what is the meaning of variables? Like variables are nothing but x comma y. That means under the double integration, whenever the integrating with respect to x and also y, here for example, it is y limits are in terms of x. And that means the limits are in terms of x, that we need to assume that y, then integrating with respect to dy. And again after that with respect to, you need to calculate that is x. We need to observe that properly. Whenever the limits are in terms of x is given that variable, that is we are need to assume that that is the limits are for y, and again we need to integrate it with respect to y, and again after that calculate it with respect to x only conditions. And again similarly, whenever according to the other order, that means when while we are going to do that, that is under the double integrations, the limits are under that x limits. That means x variable, that we need to assume that that is a y, and again that is a with respect to in terms of y, that we need to assume that x, that means we integrate it with respect to x, and again after with respect to y conditions. These are the important to understand here. That means the conclusion of this one, what it is here, the limits are in terms of x is given, that we need to assume that y, and again after with respect to x only. But the limits are in terms of x, that we need to assume that y, integrating with respect to y, and again after with respect to x only condition. These are the important to understand. And again sometimes based upon that, the double integration over the general region, that is under the Cartesian coordinates. The CC is nothing but it is a Cartesian coordinates. Yeah, that is what is the meaning of this one. This is the third method under this multiple integration, that is a double integration. First is the limits are constants, that according to that slide we observe that clearly. and again the limits are given the variable, that is the second method, and again the third method the limits are not given. That means at the time how to do the problems, that means depend upon the given equations we need to draw the diagram and again find the limits based upon that understanding level of the x-axis or y-axis, that is otherwise that is a division of the region. These are the three conditions we need to remember while we are going to calculating, that is under the double integration, whenever the limits are not given particularly like with respect to any variables or constants. That means first we need to understand what is a strip parallel to x-axis. That strip parallel to x-axis. There is a parallel to x-axis. Strip to parallel to y-axis means that is a strip to parallel to y-axis is the conditions. Here, what is the like working rule? How to find the solutions under the parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis? This is also very important to understand the concept whenever the equations are given to find the solutions under the double integrations. Here, procedure to find the double integration over the general region, that is a Cartesian coordinates. That is a parallel to, that is a, for example, x-axis. Or like that, according to here, that what it is here, draw all the curves and identify the required region. That means whenever the equations are given, we need to draw the curve, then again identify where it is bounded the region. And second one, find the points of intersection of all the curves if it is required. That means after draw the diagram, we need to identify where it is a bounded region, that particular points of the given equations. And next one, take the strip parallel to x-axis or y-axis. That means we need to calculate like either any method, we get the same solution. Either we need to take the parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis. That depend upon our choice. And next one, if it is required, the division of the divide the region into two parts. Sometimes by taking the parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis, here it is a like the two division the condition is also possible is while we are going to observing the problems, then easy to understand. And again next one, find the limits of the inner integral strip from the strip. That means here whatever we are going to calculating according to parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis, we need to identify what is the inner integral of the strip. Any condition like according to the parallel to the x-axis or parallel to y-axis, we need to identify what is the inner strip, and again after that what is the outer strip is also conditions. And next one, calculate the example that depend upon the integration, depend upon the finding the limits, then find the solution under the double integrations. These are the some major points we need to remember according to while we are going to finding the solutions under the double integration. If they are not given the limits at the time they are given the equations formation, then how to find the solutions. And here, for example, according to the parallel to, that is one by one method, it is a parallel to x-axis. And what it is a parallel to x-axis? While we are going to under the diagram, it is a parallel to x-axis. That is the meaning of it is a parallel to x-axis. And again, it is the meaning of here in this diagram, it is a parallel to x-axis. That depend upon if we consider according to that horizontal, that is a parallel to x-axis. And based upon that, from the given curve, after we draw the diagram, for example, such type of, this is an example showing that is a diagram, it is a parallel to x-axis by taking the bounded the region. And again in this, we need to observe that what is the inner strip, what is the outer strip, that is we need to identify. And again, while we are going to observing here, the inner strip is nothing but it is a g of phi. By taking any parallel to x-axis or like that, like according to the inner strip is a left side, the outer strip is a that right side. That means here the right strip is nothing but it is a q is a function. That inner strip is a p, and again the outer strip is a q is a condition. And after that, we need to identify what about that. It is a vertical strip based upon the limits of the constants. And again in this, the vertical strip is the limits are y is equal to c, and again the upper limit is a d is the condition. And based upon that LHS side, that is a lower strip, that is a inner strip, that is x is equal to, we need to find out with respect to x only, because of we obtain that with respect to p, what is the inner strip, x is a variable in terms of y, that is a lower strip, and again that is x is equal to g of y, and again upper strip is a like that q, that is nothing but x is equal to h of y is a condition. And again, that rest of the term we need to calculate that inside of the inside function. And again, after that, y is equal to c is the lower limit, that is a constant. The upper limit is the y is equal to d is a upper limit constant. And again, based upon this one, we need to integrating, after that calculating that x, we need to find the solution of that is y. This is the clear understanding that parallel to x-axis only. That is important to draw the diagram. After draw the diagram only, it is possible to take that either the parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis. And next one, further parallel to y-axis. What is the parallel to y-axis? The parallel to y-axis is nothing but according to it is a y-axis. And in this y, it is a lower strip is nothing but it is a lower strip, and again the upper strip is nothing but it is a upper strip only. And based upon that, while we are going to observing here the showing the diagram in the right side of the diagram here also after draw the diagram from the given curve, you get according to after that points, and again after draw the diagram, it is a bounded region. The inner strip is nothing but it is also P. That is the meaning of the inner strip. And again that like upper strip is here also Q, that is y is equal to h of x. That means while we are going to take that the parallel to like y-axis here y terms we need to find out, and again parallel to x-axis is nothing but that is x in terms of that is a y. But according to here it is a parallel to y is nothing but y, you need to take the lower strip, that is in terms of x. The upper limit is also y, that is in terms of x is a condition. And again here based upon this one, here after that y in terms of x, the lower as well as the upper, and again our rest of the terms we need to consider that x what is a left side the points, and again the outside is a x point is a x equal to a, the right side of the point is a x is equal to b is a condition. That means we need to calculate first it is a with respect to y in terms of x, you need to integrating with respect to y, and again after with respect to integrating that is a dx only condition. And again sometimes while we are going to take the parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis, it is not possible. That is it possible by based upon that the dividing in the regions part is required. Then that is dividing into like the two region parts, then find the solutions. Here for example, while we are going to observe here, while we are going to draw the diagram of this one, it is a clearly if we are going to take that parallel to bounded region is nothing but here according to bounded region is nothing but that is if it is considered above the part of the given circles, after draw the diagram it is a bounded region. And while we are going to observe here, it is a parallel to x-axis, it is not possible in the like parallel to x-axis is only one direction, but the parallel to y-axis in this particular problem, it is we need to assume that is two division the parts it is required. Here how it is possible, that means how to why we are going to take that according to the two parts that we need to observe here. For example, in this diagram it is a parallel to x-axis, that left side is totally based upon the right side of the circle, the right side is a part is according to right side is a part is based upon the left side of the circle. That is wherever you are going to take that parallel to x-axis, it is not facing any problem. But here while we are going to take that according to parallel to y-axis, here according to it is the lower part is here and upper part is here, and other curve is also like that according to here and this one. Then what is the meaning of this one? While we are going to take that particularly in this diagram, it is the lower part is based upon the x-axis, and again upper part is based upon the two circles it is a covering. That means one is a covering according to the right side of the circle, the left other part is also covering on the left side of the circle. But that means here in this parallel to x-axis, it is no problem facing any problem, no, not possible, not facing any problem. But according to the parallel to like y-axis, it is facing the problem. And again based upon such type of this one, we need to like the division of the two parts according to middle of the line, and again based upon it is the regions are like the two regions, one is R1 and also other one is R2. And based upon that R1, it is based upon R1 is you need to calculate first of all, and again after finding that you need to calculate that R2 corresponding, this is the other circle only. And this is the structure we need to find out according to whenever the diagram, after draw the diagram and again after identify the points, here these are the such type of the problems are also while we are going to do that problems we are facing sometimes only here. And after that the double integration by change the order of integration method. This is also like the fourth method under here the double integration, the change the order of integration. That means what is the meaning of this one? That is here clearly based upon that change the order. That means whenever the integrations are given in terms of y is equal to x, and again you need to draw the diagram with respect to y, and again after that you need to find out what is that x in terms of y is the condition. This is the, that means based upon that y in terms of x is the, like according to the like second method, that is a region, that is a integration variables only. And if we understanding that variable according to y in terms of x and x is equal to g of y, and based upon the draw the diagram like parallel to x-axis and parallel to y-axis, and based upon here after draw the diagram from the given curve, and again that is a given equations, we need to change the order of integration. If it is a given the parallel to x-axis, we need to find out what is the parallel to y-axis, and again if they are given in that parallel to y-axis, then we need to draw the diagram what is the parallel to x-axis, and respect to integration limits are also we need to find out and find the integration of the given problem. Here same here also the change the order of integration is nothing but first of all draw the given curve, that is data from the limits, and again draw the strips as per the given limits integration, and again after that we need to change the parallel to x-axis to y-axis and parallel to y-axis to x-axis, and again calculate the example as the examples of the double integration based upon the given problem. Next is the triple integration. The triple integration under here as per the syllabus we are going to discuss that only the direct integration. That means whenever the limits are given the constant, then how to find the solution, and the limits are given the variable, then how to find the solution. That is under the particularly we are going to discuss as per the syllabus only. What is a triple integration? That means it is a more than, it is the same like that according to the double integration, the definition. It is also integrals of a function of three variables over the region in R3. It is called as a triple integration. Over the region under the R square is called as a double integration. Over the region R3 is called as a triple integrations. For example, it is a x, y, z. That means whenever the limits are particularly it is a value, that is a generally it is a v is nothing but it is a volume only, and again here in price of v it is nothing but x, y, z, and again sometimes at x, y, z is nothing but y, x, z. And what is the meaning of this one? And similarly z, x, y also, or z, y, x also, and that means depend upon that given any intervals are not specifically mentioned. If they are given such type of this, the dx, dy, dz, or dy, dx, dz, or dx, dz, dy, dx, then what is the meaning of that? Same like the double integration, the constant limits, here also we need to find the solution. That means whenever not given the particularly under that limits are, these are the particular limits, means here based upon that one you need to observe that here it is not given that particular limits wise, here we give the priority, one is x is equal to that is a m to n, and again after that y with respect to that is y is equal to c to d, and again after with respect to z is equal to a to b is the condition. That means based upon that we need to assume and find the integration, that is the meaning of x is equal to m to n and y is equal to c to d and z is equal to a to b, and again of the function f of x comma y comma z. That means first integrating with respect to x, and again after with respect to y, and again after with respect to z is a condition. And similarly here also that is the meaning of here, first we need to with respect to x, and again after calculating with respect to y, and again next with respect to z is the conditions. For example, like zxy, here also not specifically mentioned any, these are the particular limits. Here also same like that, first we need to assume that that is a z, and again after with respect to d, and again after with respect to that is a y is the conditions. Z, x, and again after the integration with respect to y is the condition. And finally, the double integration over the region, that is a PC method, that is a polar coordinates. And what is the meaning of this one? Generally, the Cartesian coordinate, that is a CC, nothing but x comma y comma z in the terminology. That polar coordinates, that is generally that is a PC. It is a meaning of based upon r comma theta in general terminology. Here we need to remark, that means we need to remember according to in the Cartesian coordinate, that is a we have that x comma like y, that is a two dimensions, and whereas based upon this is the x-axis and also y-axis. And here under the polar coordinates, you need to observe that properly, that x is nothing but it is assumed that is I r, and again that the theta is nothing but we need to assume that is a angle between that r comma theta is the conditions. Yeah, these are the points conditions we need to observe that while we are going to do the discussion. That is a polar coordinate. That is a PC method. See, what is the procedure to find the double integrations under the region that is a polar coordinates? That means if we want to find the value of the given double integration over the region in the polar coordinates, we need to follow some certain steps only. And what are the steps? We need to observe that. Draw all the curves and identify the required region. It is also same based upon under the Cartesian coordinates or any conditions like that. First of all, we need to draw the diagram in that based upon that P comma C, that is a polar coordinates. Take the strip from the origin with the region. That means according to that wherever it is starting, that is the origin, we need to take the strip. And again, if it is required, then divide the region. Here also same like that. Sometimes it is based upon the two regions. And again, here also, if it is possible, if you get that by taking that according to follow that two regions. And find the limits of inner integral from the strip, that is a r1 and also r2. And again, after that, we need to find out the theta 1 comma theta 2. Like that means whatever the inside of that two outside, and again whatever the angle between that, that is a theta 1 to that is a theta 2. And after that, finding that all the limits, we need to calculate the example as the example of the double integrations. Yeah, see, for example, the problem is based upon that the limits are given in terms of under the polar coordinates, the limits are given in terms of theta, that we need to assume that r. That means we need to integrate with respect to that is dr, and again after with respect to that is a theta is a conditions. Yeah, these are actually this is the while we are going to draw the diagram in the polar coordinates. If we get this is the some structure of the diagram, and in this we need to take that according to what is the meaning of r, what is the meaning of the theta, then how to take this is the conditions. For example, if we assume this is the structure, it is a bounded region based upon the given to the equations. And again here that r is nothing but it is inside of the strip, and again it is r, and again that r1 is r2 is nothing but that is the outside of the strip. That is r is nothing but from the inner strip, and again that outer strip. And again, that is the meaning of R1 and also R2. And again, next one, we need to find out what is the angle between that. The angle between is nothing but from where it is a bounded region in between the two curves. That is a like according to the theta 1 comma theta 2. That is a theta 1 belongs to that is a region. That means it is a bounded region, and in between this is the bounded region. Angle between the two regions. And again, after that, getting the limits, then find the solution with respect to r and also d theta. And again, under here, the like polar coordinates, we need to remember some certain structures of the like diagrams. And again, at the time of the calculation, easy to understand the problems also. Here, like according to, we need to discuss what is the structures of the circle, chordioid, and also lemniscate. The generally, as you know, that the circle is nothing but the circle, and again the chordioid is nothing but it is a heart shape, and again it is a lemniscate is nothing but it is an infinity terminology. The circles, and again the chordioid means, and again it is nothing but lemniscate means that is infinity or something alpha. Yeah, what is the structure of the equation of the circle? For example, r is equal to a. We need to understand what is the meaning of r is equal to a under the polar coordinates. If it is given r is equal to a means like r is equal to 2 or r is equal to 3 or r is equal to 5, r is equal to 1, whatever it may be. This is the meaning of r is equal to a. While the equations are given such type of under the polar coordinates, it is the structure is according to based upon the circle. And again here the center is nothing but a. Whatever the given constant value is considered, that is a corresponding, that is a radius. And again the center is nothing but it is the origin is the center, that is a 0 comma 0. The structure is according to when we draw the diagram, it is clearly that is r, a is a radius, and again the circle is according to 0 comma 0. That means passing through the 0 comma 0, that is origin, that with the radius is a is the radius. For example, a is equal to 2, something like means r is equal to 2. That is also we need to assume that a is equal to, that is in price of a is equal to, that is a two conditions. Here according to the structure is r is equal to means it is a r is equal to is a condition. Like this is the one example to understand level, that is a circles equation, that what type of the structure of the given equations. And next one, the r is equal to a into cos theta. That r is equal to a into cos is also, it is also nothing but it is also in the form of the circle only. But what type of the circle is nothing but it is a center is nothing but it is a like a radius is a by 2 and again the center is a by 2 comma 0. While we are going to solving, we need to remember this is the condition. And what type of the structure? But it is also satisfied the circle that a into cos theta is nothing but it is a circle is not passing through the origin with the center is a by 2 comma 0. That means it is the right side of the on the x-axis it is passing through the circle. Yeah, it is clearly it is a that is nothing but it is a by 2 and also it is a is the conditions. And r is equal to a into sin theta. This is also nothing but it is the structure of the circle only, but it is not passing through the origin. It is also not on the x-axis, it is on the y-axis with the radius is a by 2 comma 0. This is also a by 2 comma a is the conditions. Yeah, what is the cardioid shape? What type of the equations it is a cardioid shape? That means, for example, r is equal to a into 1 plus cos theta. That a into 1 plus cos theta is nothing but other than it is a that is nothing but it is called as a that what it is other than it is a 1 plus it is a r is equal to a into cos theta, that is a like circle, but it is a 1 place is available based upon this one. It is a heart shape of the shape. Heart shape. Cardioid is nothing but it is heart shape, but it is passing through the like on the x-axis like that. Yeah, it is clearly one type of that it is a heart shape, and again it is a r is equal to 1 plus cos theta and r is equal to 1 minus cos theta. What is the structure of this one? It is also, while we are going to observing that r is equal to a into 1 plus cos theta is the right side, but 1 minus cos theta is nothing but it is a left side of the heart shape of on the x-axis. Yeah, like that. And next one, it is r is equal to a into 1 plus sin theta. That means same like that, whatever that r is equal to a into 1 plus cos theta on the x-axis, it is r is equal to a into 1 plus sin theta is on the y-axis on the above side like that. Like, and again similarly, r is equal to a into 1 minus sin theta. And this is also nothing but same like that, r is equal to a into 1 minus cos theta is the left side, that whereas r is equal to a into 1 minus sin theta is that below side of the y-axis. Yeah, here also same the conditions. And next one, the last structure also we need to remember the condition, that is a lemniscate. The lemniscate is nothing but we need to remember that is a infinity like that, like related alpha or infinity, that is a terminology. On the x-axis only. You need to understand these are the some angle between the curves are also, that is as theta by 2, like the theta by 4, and again the theta like that 3 pi by 4, and also the conditions. Yeah, next coming to point, we'll go to discuss that based upon that. If you remember that all these conditions and the constant coefficients and also the variable and again the E region and also the change the order of integration, polar coordinates, and finally it is like under the curves only, then easy to calculate at the time of the question banks are like that. Any problems are given, easy to handle and again easy to understand the problems. Here, the part A, same like that, model 1, model 2, model 3, model 4, like that. And again, here also the model 4 is also the part A consisting like the 10, and part B is consisting like the 20, and part C is also consisting like that 20. That is a short type questions. First is a critical thinking, and second one is a essay type question, and again the third one is a that is a short type questions. Here, solve the double integrations. Then how to find the solutions? While we are going to observing this problem, the limits are not specifically given that particularly these are the limits like that. We need to understand the logically. That means here, while we are going to observing the problem under the double integration is clearly no problem because of the two integrations are given. But here, that first here the limits we need to observe that the first one the limits are in terms of 2, and again the upper limit is in terms of x. That means As per the variables according to the double integration, to calculating the procedure, whatever the limits are in terms of x, that we need to assume that y is equal to 2 to x plus 2, and again after that calculating with respect to dy, then integrating with respect to x is assume that minus 1 to 2, then we find the solution. That means first integrating with respect to y, and again after with respect to x, then find the solution of the given problem. That means we need to recall that the limits are under the like variable, then how to find the solutions. And again, next one, evaluate where R is the region bounded by the planes. It is like the problem. While we are going to observe in this one, the problem is under the triple integrations. But the triple integration is also not given the certain limits, then they are given the equation format like that. We need to understand that how to assume the limits here. Here, the limits are given x is equal to y is equal to z is equal to 0, then x is equal to 0 to 2, and y is equal to x, and z is equal to x plus y. That means, first of all, that whatever the maximum limits are given, that is variable, that we need to assume that z is equal to 0 is that because of z is equal to 0, and again that after that z is equal to the upper limit is x plus y, and again after that we need to find out what is the y, that is y is equal to 0, and again next is the upper limit is y is equal to x is the conditions, given the conditions, and again after that calculating assume that x is equal to 0, and again upper limit is the constant limits, and again based upon that we need to find out x plus y plus z, and again first is a z day, and again next is a dy, and again dy is x is a condition. Based upon this one, we need to assume that, and again find the integration of the part, and finally with respect to x we find the solutions. That means we need to understand properly. If it is not understanding properly, we are facing the problem only. And again here, the next one, evaluate double integration x square into dx dy over the region bounded by the hyperbola of the conditions. That means here also we need to draw the diagram, otherwise we need to find the solution. It is a double integration is nothing but double integration x square. And again here we need to understand whether the limits are first integrating with respect to x or y. Here x is equal to 1 is given and x is equal to 4 is given. That means the limits are constant is given, that we need to find out that is a latter at the end of the time. That is x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 4 only. And again next one, here xy is equal to 4 is given and y is equal to 0. That means y is equal to 0, we need to assume that the upper limit is y is equal to, that is a 4 by x is the conditions. That means first it is a y in terms of x is nothing but we need to calculate with respect to y, and again after with respect to, that is integrating with respect to dx is the conditions. This is we need to understand properly. Without understanding, it is not possible to find the solutions that depend upon the limits, whether it is constants or whether it is the variables of the given limits. And next one, find the change the order of integration and hence evaluate the conditions. The problem is not directly find the solutions. That means it is given the change the order of integration. That means according to here, the limits are given that y is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1 minus x square and x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. That means we need to solve the equations and again after that we need to draw the diagram properly. Here while we are going to observe in this one, it is y is equal to 1 minus x square, sorry, y is equal to root of 1 minus x square is nothing but it is y square is equal to 1 minus x square, that is nothing but x square plus y square is equal to 1 only condition. That means we need to draw the diagram properly, that x square plus y square is equal to 1 is nothing but it is a passing through the origin. And again based upon this one, it is a x equal to 0 comma 1 means that is 0 comma 0 and here 1 comma 0 and it is also 0 comma 1 only conditions. And this is the clearly from the given equations like the given the curves, we need to draw the diagram is over. And after that it is given the problem is y is equal to 0. That means it is covering it is a boundary region is only in the first quadrant only. And based upon the first quadrant, it is actually the given limits are y in terms of x is nothing but vertical strip is given. It is given the vertical strip is given. Because of y in terms of x is given means y in terms of x is nothing but it is a vertical axis is given, but based upon the change the order of integration is nothing but we need to take what is a parallel to x-axis. In the parallel to x-axis nothing but we need to take according to it is a parallel to x-axis, and based upon this one we need to find out what is the diagram of this one is nothing but here parallel to x-axis nothing but x is equal to 0, that is inside, left side, the outer strip is nothing but it is nothing but x square plus y square is equal to 1. That means x is equal to the upper limit is root of 1 minus y square. That y, the y limits are nothing but it is 0, and again the upper limit it is 1. Therefore y is equal to, it is also there is no change, y is equal to 0 to 1, and again the integrating first to, that is a y square, and again it is a dx, and again after that with respect to, that is a dy, you need to calculate. That means this is the given problem to understand the level. The given limits are in terms of y means it is a parallel to y axis is given, but the change the order of integration is it is particularly clearly mentioned. Therefore, we need to change that, that is a parallel to, that is x axis, that is parallel to x axis, then find the solutions. And again next one, calculate the double integration of this one. That means here also not given any condition, but here in this problem it is a y, x is given in terms of that means y is equal to 0 to x, and again after that x is equal to 0 to 2, then exponential, that exponential is nothing but e power of x and again into e power of y, that because of exponential of x plus y is nothing but e power x into e power y, that is a first y means we need to integrating with respect to dy, and again after with respect to, after that calculating we need to do with respect to dx and find the solutions. And next one, evaluate double integration r is double integration r into sine theta, that is a dr d theta. That means the problem is based upon the, that is a polar coordinates. Here over the area bounded by the coordinate and again above the initial line. That means we need to draw the diagram according to here. It is r comma theta based upon this one. It is r is equal to a into 1 plus cos theta. That r is equal to a into 1 plus cos theta is nothing but on the x-axis, and that is a coordinate shape. That is nothing but we need to draw the diagram of this one according to, we shown that according to clearly the diagram, and based upon that it is a clearly r is equal to a into 1 plus, that is a cos theta, and again here it is a bounded region is nothing but it is a bounded region only, that is a because of it is upper portion only it is covered, but here we need to calculate what is the limits of this one is nothing but r is equal to 0 to, that is a into 1 plus, that is a cos theta, and again it is r into sine theta, and again d theta and d theta we need to calculate first with respect to r, and again the theta limits are it is a covering from according to 0, that above the portion is nothing but it is a 0 to pi by 2 is the conditions, because of it is covering the totally that above the initial line only. And next one, evaluate the double integration x plus y dx dy over the region bounded by the y is equal to 0, x plus y is equal to 2 and y square is equal to x. That means while we are going to observe here y square x is nothing but according to y square is equal to x is nothing but x is equal to y square, that is according to it is a structure of y is equal to y square is equal to x only, that x plus y is equal to 2 is nothing but according to like maybe like structure of that x plus y is equal to 2 only, and based upon that here if it is a easy to calculating, it is a we need to take that according to that vertical strip only, it is a single portion it is covered. If you are going to take that horizontal, that is a parallel x-axis, it is going to divide like the two partition there, that is a division of the regions it is required. Therefore we need to take that according to that is a particle strip only that is a particle parallel to y-axis nothing but y, that is a y is nothing but it is a root x, because of the lower strip is based upon the y square is equal to x, therefore y is equal to root x, and again the upper strip is y is equal to that is a 2 minus x, and again x is equal to 0 to something, it is by solving the equations we obtain maybe x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2, x is equal to 0, 0 comma 0, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, y is equal to 2, and y is equal to 0, x equal to 2. That means it is a 0 comma 2, maybe approximately it is, you need to find out x plus y into dy, integrating dy with respect to dx. We need to check that after that calculation of the limits. It is what is the particularly the intersecting points. Okay, whatever it may be. Here over the triangular region bounded by the x coordinate x equal to 2a, and again that curves like that. And here also according to maybe the structure of that x square is equal to 4a is like according to it is a structure of this one. X is equal to 2a. X is equal to 2a is nothing but it is a x is equal to 1, x is equal to like maybe according to this is the x equal to a. And again, we need to find out here also based upon that you need to take according to any conditions. It is also x is equal to, that is 0 to x is equal to x is nothing but that is a lower curve is on the curve means that is a 2 into root of ay, and again the upper curve is x equal to a and y is equal to 0 to, and we need to find out what about the inside of the intersecting curve x is square is equal to 4ay. And again by solving these two curves we obtain the solutions, and again after that you calculate xy into that is a dx and also dy is the conditions. We need to find out by intersecting the, by solving the two curves we need to find the solutions. And again next one, determine the area of over the area bounded by the in first quadrant between the circles x equal to r is equal to and also r is equal to 4. And again here also as you shown that is based upon under the polar coordinates, r is equal to 2 and again r is equal to that is a 4. That r is equal to is nothing but passing through the origin, the center is 2, therefore it is maybe it is r is equal to 2 like that, it is r is equal to 2. And again r is equal to 4 is nothing but passing through the origin one more, it is a circle it is covering, it is r is equal to 4. And based upon this one, r cube into dr and also d theta, that r lower strip is nothing but r is equal to and r is equal to 4, because of it is a inner structure, it is a r is equal to 2 and again outer structure is r is equal to 4 is a condition, but it is a first quadrant is nothing but we need to take that 0, and again the upper curve it is the angle between it is a pi by 4, therefore it is theta is equal to 0 to that is a pi by 2 is a condition. And again first integrating with respect to r and again with respect to that is a theta, then find the solutions. These are the understanding level to find out whenever the limits are the constants, whenever the limits are variable, whenever limits are the polar coordinates. And next one, it is also based upon the same positive quadrant, we need to take that here, it is a condition 0 comma 0, x axis and y axis, it is nothing but x square plus y square is equal to a square. It is also under the Cartesian coordinates. We need to take that any conditions either under the double integration xy into, if it is x axis is nothing but according to parallel to x axis, the lower limit is x is equal to that is 0, the upper is nothing but from that given curve we need to find out x is equal to root of a square minus y square, therefore root of a square minus y square, and y is equal to 0 to the lower limit is 0, and again it is also that a comma that is 0 comma a, and again here also a comma 0, that means y is equal to 0 to a, then find out first with respect to that is a dx, and again after that calculation we need to do with respect to dy, then find the solutions. And these are the clear procedure to find out whenever the limits are given Cartesian or something polar coordinates, then find the take that. Otherwise we need to take that according to in this problem it is y in terms of according to parallel to y axis, y is equal to root of a square minus x square, and again x is equal to that is 0 to a, and again xy first integrating dy, and again after with respect to that is a dx, then find the solution. This is based upon the second method, based upon that according to by taking the parallel to y axis. And these are the problems based upon under the that party that is thinking the problems. And next one, evaluate the triple integrations. Here also the problems are given not mention that particularly limits, these are the particular, but generally limits are given only, we need to identify which one is integration is limits for particularly, we can do that. And again here limits are given in terms of yz is nothing but other than the variable is nothing but x, therefore we need to integrating with respect to x, that is 0 to 1 minus y, therefore that we need to integrating with respect to first is a dx xyz, that is a dx, first integrating with respect to dx, and after that x is over, that means y and also z, and in that y and z the limits are in terms of z, that means we need to assume that y is equal to 0 to 1 minus z, that means integrating with respect to dy, and again after that the limits are the rest of the final it is a 0 to 1, we need to integrating with respect to dx is the conditions. First that is dx, and again after with respect to y, and again after with respect to z is the conditions, that is x conditions. Sorry, it is a first is a x, sorry it is a last one, it is a z only. z, not x, sorry, it is a z only conditions. Because of according to we need to give the priority. And next one, the solve the double integrations. And here also r comma theta, it is directly given the limits. We need to assume that first is r comma theta. The limits are given in terms of theta is nothing but we need to assume that r is equal to 0 to a into 1 place, that is a cos theta, that is a r square into that is a cos theta with respect to dr is first one. And again next one, theta is equal to 0 to pi, that is with respect to theta, and find the solution of the problem. And next one, calculate the double integrations, and here also given that x comma y, and again with respect x is given, we need to assume that y is equal to x2, that is root x, that is under x square plus y square, and again with respect to y, here it is not given the order, we need to change that y first, and again after with respect to dx only. And again x is equal to 0 to 1, it is a dx only, we need to find the solutions. Here it is important to understand, because of the limits are in terms of x is given, that we need to assume that that is a y, that is first integrating with respect to y and after with respect to x only. And again next one, here also we need to assume that properly, because of the limits are in terms of x, that means we need to assume that y is equal to 0, and again upper limit is that is x square, that is x into x square plus that is y square into that is a dy, and again after calculating with respect to x is equal to 0 to 5, and again with respect to dx, and find the solution of the given problem. Next one, that r comma theta, here given the particularly that angle is that limits are 0 comma pi by 2 is given, therefore here also we need to assume that logically it is theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2, because of the angle only is nothing but that is a theta, that is r into that is a sine theta. First we need to interchange the limits, that is a dr, that is theta, and again that after that r is equal to 0 to 1, we need to find out that is a dr find out. And again after that here also change the order of integration. That change the order of integration is nothing but according to we need to assume that y is equal to x square and y is equal to that is 2 minus x, and again it is nothing but it is a y is equal to x square is nothing but a parabola, and again other one it is also y is equal to 2 minus x, like according to this structure. But here given the particularly limits, based upon this we need to draw the diagram. It is a vertical strip is given, we need to change that what is a horizontal strip, that is based upon here also same like that, we need to take that it is a horizontal strip is nothing but here in this problem it is a division of the regions are required, that means integration, that is a r1 and also that is a r1 region and also r2 region, we need to calculate individually, then find the solutions. And again double integration, here also change it, you need to observe properly, because of x is equal to given in terms of y, that means that is x equal to 0 to root of a square minus y square, it is xy, we need to assume these are the x, and again after that with respect to y is equal to 0 to a, then again you need to find out that is a dy, then find the solutions. And next one, solve the triple integration. Solve the triple integration under the like x, y, z. Here first is a dx dy is nothing but the limits are x, y. That means we need to assume that z is equal to 0 to x plus that is a log y. And again it is z is over means it is remaining part is x and also y. And again moreover it is x is given, that is a y is equal to 0 to x. And again last finally x is equal to 0 to that is a log 2. That means e power of x into e power of y into e power of z. First integrating with respect to dz, and again after that with respect to dy, and again after with respect to dx is the conditions. Yeah, first integrating with respect to dy, and again after with respect to that is a like dx, sorry dy, and again after with respect to dx we find the solutions. And again here also the problem is under that xyz, first xy is given means that we need to assume that z is equal to 0 to root of 1 minus x square minus y square, and again it is a 1 by that is under root of 1 minus x square minus y square minus z square with respect to dz. And again after that with respect to y we need to assume that because of the limits are in terms of x, therefore y is equal to 0 to root of 1 minus x square into that is a dy, and finally x is equal to 0 to 1 we need to calculate. And next one, Find the value of the double integration xy and positive it is given, the ellipse is given. That means it is a ellipse. Ellipse is nothing but according to the structure of this one. And again here, not given that any particular limits, but it is given the positive region. We need to assume that according to the first octant only, it is nothing but x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1, 0 and x and y. And it is also intersecting points are like a comma 0, and again it is a 0 comma b is a condition. And based upon this one, it is a according to like parallel to x is nothing but it is x equal to 0. Upper limit it is a positive, means it is based upon this one 1 minus, that is a x square by a square is equal to 1 minus y square by b square. It is a b square minus y square by, that is a y square. And again here from here x square is equal to a square, that x is equal to a plus or minus a into the root of b square minus y square by, it is a y is a value. So it is a b square minus y square by b square, that means plus or minus b. Here that is nothing but x equals 0 to, here it is a only a by b root of, we need to take that b square minus y square by, it is a b. And again here not b, it is only, it is b square, and here y is equal to 0 to, that is a limits are intersecting b, that xy into first integrating with respect to dx, and again after with respect to, that is a dy is the conditions. Based upon such type of this one, we need to assume that properly, here easy to understand based upon the conditions. And the next one, change the order of integration. Here also, here the given the vertical, but we need to find out what is the horizontal. Here also we need to assume that y is equal to, that is 2 into root x is given, and it is nothing but y square is equal to, that is a 4x. And again second curve is given, y is equal to x square by 4a, that is nothing but x square is equal to 4y is a condition. And based upon that, we need to draw the diagram. It is both are the parallel, y square is equal to 4x, and again x square is equal to 4a is the conditions. Here intersecting points we need to find out. And again after that, we need to, y is given, that means we need to follow that according to the parallel to x axis. That means parallel to x axis nothing but x is equal to, the lower curve is nothing but it is a y square is equal to, that is a 4x, and again x square is equal to 4y. And again that x axis is nothing but parallel to y axis given, but we need to change that, it is a x axis, that is nothing but x is nothing but y square by, that is a 4. The upper right side of the curve is nothing but x is equal to 2 root y, and again y is equal to 0 to, based upon that intersecting the points, maybe it is a 0 comma 4 or something 0 comma 2. We need to find the solutions on that. It is a dx and also dy is the conditions. Here we need to solve the equations, we get the properly the value of intersecting where it is a bounded the region. And again first quadrant, it is also nothing but we need to take according to only the curves. And again it is also according to, that is x plus y is equal to 1. It is also we need to take that any horizontal strip, that is x is equal to 0 to, that right side of the curve is nothing but 1 minus y, and y is equal to 0 to, that is 1. And again x square plus y square into, first if it is taking that parallel to x axis, that is integrating dx, and again after with respect to dy is the conditions. Yeah, here also the change the order of integration is given. That means we need to draw the diagram, and again after that we need to like parallel to x axis, means parallel to y axis, we need to take that it is x is equal to, that is y square, and again x is equal to 0. Y square is nothing but it is a y square equal like the structure, and again that x is equal to means it is x is equal to is nothing but it is structure of x is equal to, and based upon that parallel to y axis, we need to take that what is the lower, what is outer, what is the left side, what is the outside of the given curve. And here also find the double integration. Here the problem we need to observe that properly, because of in terms of x is given, means we need to assume that y is equal to 0 to root of 1 minus x square, and again the x limits are 0 to 1, the root of 1 minus x square minus y square, first integrating with respect to dy, and again after that with respect to dx, and find the solutions. And again next one, it is under the polar coordinates. It is r is equal to 2 sin theta, r is equal to like 4 cos theta. as you know that the structure of r is equal to 2 sin theta is nothing but on the, like it is 2 sin theta, it is not a coordinate, not is a line on the passing through the origin. It is r is equal to sin theta, and again r is equal to, it is a r is equal to 4 sin theta is like this. That means it is the first one is that r is equal to sin theta, and again next one is r is equal to 4 into sin theta, and again 0, and again 0, it is pi by 2 is a condition. Therefore if we are going to take that here, it is covering this the structure only, that is r is equal to, that is 2 into sin theta. The upper curve is r is equal to 4 into sin theta, and again theta is nothing but 0 to, that is a pi by 2, and again after that r cube into dr, and again after that we need to do that what is a d theta, then find the solution. Here also positive quadrant, that is nothing but we need to take that three variables, z is equal to 0 to root of a square minus x square minus y square, and y is equal to 0 to root of a square minus, that is x square, and again x is equal to 0 to a. It is like a sphere only. You need to find out dz, and again dy, and also dx. Here the function is one only, we need to assume the conditions. And it is also y is equal to 4x. We need to draw the diagram of y is equal to 4x and x square is equal to 4ay, and again it is a 0 comma 0, and it is also like 2a comma 2 comma 2. I think maybe I hope that y, it is a y square is equal to 4x and x square is equal to 4ay. You take any curve, we find the solutions. We find out what is the upper limit, that is based upon the intersecting of the points. And here also sorry, it is a like little bit mistake. It is a x square is equal to y is nothing but y is equal to y square is equal to x, it is required. Intersecting points are 1 comma 1, 0 comma 1. Like here also, while we are going to take that here, zero to, like lower curve is, if it is x means it is x is equal to y square, the right side is root y, and y is equal to 0 to 1, it is on the dx and also dy. It is by taking this one we get the solution, x is equal to y square, sorry, it is x is equal to y square only, and we find the solutions. And again similarly here also that passing through the origin, it is a finite region of that, means that is a like 4z is equal to, that is 12 minus 2x minus 3y, and z is equal to, that is 12 minus 2x minus 3y by 4. Therefore the z limits are z is equal to 0 to, that is 12 minus 2x minus 3y by 4, and again y is equal to, while we are going to calculating y is equal to 0, that is 12 minus 2x by 3, and again x is equal to 0 to 6, and again the limits integrating dz, dy and dx, and the function is here 1, we need to calculate, and after that we need to find the solutions. And next one, the double integrations, here also not given, that we need to assume that here not given any, means we need to assume that here x is equal to, that is 0 to 1 by root of, that is 1 minus x square minus y square, first integrating with respect to y, and again x, and again 1, and again with respect to dy. Because of the limits are constants are given, but depend upon our choice, we need to assume the conditions. And again next finally it is a part C, it is easy to get the solutions. Here limits are in terms of y, x means y is equal to 0 2 to x, and again integrating with respect to x equal to 0 to 2, but we need to interchange, first it is a y, and again with respect to x. And again second one, the solve the double integration, the theta is given, means that is r is equal to 2, assume that, and again the limits are theta is equal to, therefore first integrating with respect to r, and again after that x. And last one, it is also we need to assume that no problem, it is by taking that x is equal to 0 to 1, and again y is equal to 0 to 3, that is x that is square plus x into y square into first dx and also dy. But in this only, the first one only, x is equal to 0 to 2, and again y is equal to, that is 2 to x, y into dy first you calculate, and again after that with respect to dx only conditions. And here the constants are given, no problem, directly given the constants. X is equal to 1 to 3, and again y is equal to 1 to 2, that is x into y square, first integrating with respect to dx, and again after with respect to dy. No need to require any that interchange the limits are also. Find the triple integration, that is also nothing but the limits are like x is equal to, you need to assume that minus 3 to 2, and again y is equal to minus 2 to 2, and again z is equal to minus 1 to 1. It is x integration, first that is a dx, and again dy, and again dz is a conditions. And next one, y in terms of given, that means first it is a y 0 to x, because of limits are given a variable in that x, therefore we need to assume that y, and again after with respect to x equal to 0 to 2, and again dy and also dx is the conditions. Find the solutions. Next one, find the determine the double integrations. It is also constant limits, no problem. It is a like limits x is equal to minus 1 to 1 and y is equal to 0 to pi by 2. Actually it is under the polar coordinates, but no problem, it is calculate x square y square into dx, and again after with respect to that is a dy. But here the problem is under the theta, therefore x is equal to r is equal to, that is a into sine theta, that is r into dr, and again theta is equal to 0 to pi, then we find that theta is the limits. That means we need to identify whatever in the introduction, like the double and triple Cartesian and polar coordinates and change the order of integration, all the concept easy to remember the problems. And again here also that is r is equal to, that is 0 to sine theta, and again theta is equal to, that is 0 to pi, that is r into dr. Again after that calculation we need to find the theta is the conditions. And here also the theta limits are given, that means we need to assume that r is equal to 0 to, that is 2 to, that is a into 1 plus cos theta, and again it is r dr, and again theta is equal to 0 to pi, and again theta is the conditions. State the formula to find the area of the region using the double integration in the Cartesian coordinates. From the area of the double integration Cartesian means it is a finding that f of x comma y into, that is a dx and also dy, that depend upon the interval given the equations. Find the value of the tetrahedron bounded by the Cartesian planes, and the plane is x plus y plus z is equal to 1. Find the value is nothing but to find out that is a triple integration, that is f of x comma y comma z into, that is a dx dy dz. But if the function is not given, therefore we need to assume that one function, therefore it is a limits are, we need to assume that z is equal to 1 minus x minus y, that y is equal to 0 to 1 minus x, and x equal to 0 to 1, that is first integrating z and dy and also dx. State the formula to find the value of the Cartesian, that is nothing but same like that, f of x comma y comma z into, there is a dx and dy and also dz. Whatever the given function in the triple integration given problem, we need to find the solutions. And here also find the area of the ellipsoid, but it is not given the like any problem, that is a double integration is nothing but we need to calculate this one, that is a dx and also dy, while we are going to calculating x equal to 0 to, that is a b by a into root of 1 minus x square, and x is equal to, that is x means that is y, and again therefore y is equal to 0 to 0 to a only conditions. Because of this is the area means it is a like a plus or minus means it is a minus a, it is a minus b by a to root of 1 minus y square. Because of it is not mentioned that any positive quadrant, therefore we need to take this one. Otherwise here 2 and 2 is nothing but 4 into y is equal to 0 to a, and again b by a to, sorry, it is a after changing the limits like that according to even function like that, we need to take the b by a root of 1 minus y square into dx and again dy, because of the function is 1 is the conditions. State the formula to the polar coordinates, that is nothing but f of r comma theta into dr and also d theta, that is under the polar coordinates whatever the functions. And we need to find out what is the r limits, what is the theta limits. Find the area of the bounded parabolas, that is nothing but like double integrations, we need to find out the double integration, that is a f of x comma y into dx dy, but it is given the function is like that one only, that is a 1 into, that is dx and also dy, while we are going to carve that, according to it is a passing, and again here also passing that conditions. Either we need to take that parallel to y-axis or parallel to x-axis. And here also that is a dr and d data. Find the area r is equal to 0 to over the area. We need to take that r and again 0 to, that is 2a into 1 plus 1 minus cos theta, and again theta is equal to 0 to, I think the cos theta is nothing but it is based on the passing through the origin, means 0 to, that is a pi by 2 conditions. Like that, any problems are given, we need to find out according to these curves. It is also y square, y is equal to x is nothing but passing through the origin, x square is equal to nothing but it is a passing this one, y is equal to x and y is equal to x square. And again determine the parabola is nothing but dx and also dy. It is by taking this one, it is y is equal to, that is x2, that sorry, it is by taking the horizontal, it is x, that x is nothing but the inner is y and again upper is root y, and y is equal to 0 to 1. Find the area of the curves. It is also based upon the under the like sin theta is nothing but according to whatever the diagram we shown that previously, based upon the uh, passing not passing through the origin diagram, we need to find the solutions. That is under the dr and also d theta conditions. And finally, calculate the area of the circle. It is also nothing but passing through the origin. It is the center is nothing but x square plus y square is the center is through the origin, that is a comma 0, and again 0 comma a, it is 0 comma 0, and xy, it is nothing but x square plus y square is equal to a square. It is a area means under the double integration only dx and also dy, it is a one function. If we are going to take that horizontal, we need to take that x is equal to, that is 0, and again upper is nothing but root of a square minus y square, and y is equal to, that is 0 to, that is a. And here not given that any positive quadrant, means it is a minus root of, that is a square minus y square, it is also minus a is a conditions. Otherwise 4 into integration of x equal to y is equal to 0 to a, and again x equal to 0 to root of a square minus y square into 1 into, that is a dx and dy. First we need to calculate, and again after with respect to calculate the problem. These are the problems based upon that whatever we before start the question bank we discussed that according to that double integration, triple integration, limits are constants and variable, and the regions are given, and change the order of integration and polar coordinates, and triple integration based upon all the remember the condition, and yeah, the problems are easy to understand. Even we discussed in the previous lectures like individually, that is a change the order of integration, the double integration constants, the double integrations variable, the areas are given how to find the solution, and the change the order of integration problems. And finally, that is a polar coordinates and triple integration also. All the individually videos are clearly we discussed properly. And here, this is the totally depend upon the question bank under the module 3, that is a multiple integrations. I hope everybody understood properly. Wish you all the best to good luck for our examinations. Thank you. If any doubts and again further, please give me the reply in the below the link only. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.